Assalamu alaikum. This is TSF, and we're back here for another review of Zack Snyder's Army of Thieves, which Mubarak likes to call it the Snyder cut of the Snyder movie or whatnot.
Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead. But yeah, it was a good watch, honestly. It wasn't something as bad as Army of the Dead, but it was something like really something that you would enjoy. It's a good weekend watch, I would say. But yeah, we'll go through our review of this. So Mubarak, first of all, the things that you like about the movie.
I love heist movies. Top of
Same.
my head. Okay. So this movie, the first heist. Okay, so this movie has three heists basically. We're not
Yeah.
going to spoil anything major. The first heist felt too comedic, but then the second heist had real stakes. And
Yeah.
then the third heist, they kind of dropped the ball. It felt kind
It's
of
kind of like
weird. And
they glossed over it a bit.
yeah,
It's kind of like for the third one, you're like you're prepared, like, oh, okay, something's big gonna happen. And
but no.
I kind of have mixed feelings about that one. But yeah, go
Yeah.
on. Go on with the things that you liked.
But yeah, the characters were like this character, he's in Army of the Dead, and I forgot what happened to him, but that doesn't matter. He actually gets a chance to shine in this movie, where he did not in the first movie,
In the
which
first
is weird
movie,
because
yeah.
this is a prequel. I hate
He
prequels.
actually
But
it's
yeah.
unknown because in the Army of the Dead, it's sort of like it's sort of shown that he dies because he's the one who closes the vault and is,
Mhm.
eventually the last shot of him is Zeus, that zombie guy Zeus is just dragging him back and the vault closes, and that's the last that we hear of him. So not sure if he's still alive or if he's dead, not sure. But I agree with your with the notion that yeah, this guy really got his time to shine.
Like they explain stuff like his name in Army of the Dead, why his name is that, where his name is something else in this. There's like tiny details. But then the biggest why I'm gonna go with gripes now.
Okay.
Why is this connected to Army of the Dead? Why was this not a standalone, totally different, totally separate sort of deal? That would have been a much better use of Netflix's money if we're gonna go with that.
It's it's kind of like because they marketed it that way, like, yeah, this is now the story of Ludwig as the person who he was before he came in, and suddenly you realize, oh, this guy is a bigger deal than who we thought he was, and the vault in question as well is a bigger deal because of the whole ring cycle thing. And I kind of I'm a fan of connecting storylines and everything, so that's something that I was like, okay, it is what it is. And eventually, like, I like the consistency that they kept with Army of the Dead. Like, I couldn't detect any major plot holes going in there, like, with respect to the connection to Army of the Dead.
Mhm.
But I understand your point, like, if it should have been like a standalone movie about this character, and whatever he does in Army of the Dead is something later, but this should have just ended it with this character establishing a name for himself in the safecracker world and just going with that.
So basically, what they've done is they've made their Justice League, and now they're making their standalones, and then now they're trying to
Probably.
connect it.
Probably that's why
I
you called
mean,
it, when we were discussing this, you called it the Snyder cut of the Snyder cut.
yeah,
But you cannot deny one thing, though, like, I'll just start discussing about the things I found good.
yeah. Go ahead.
Firstly, of course, I'm there with you with the heists because I'm a huge fan of heists, and it's just so, I don't know why, it's just so rewarding to watch these when they go well, and even when the stakes are high, it's kind of rewarding to watch them go like this.
The more clever a heist is, the better it is for us. We enjoy that
Yeah.
all the better. Like because there's like real stakes. Like the second heist, the stakes were so good on that you could
Mm,
feel the tension.
yeah.
And then the
Yeah,
third one,
I was literally
yeah.
like this. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! What's gonna happen now? But
And then
man,
the
like,
third one, that stake back, but you know, it didn't work. I feel that
yeah,
that particular part. And there was a one major gripe I had. Okay, and this is going to be spoiler territory now.
Yeah.
Why was the safe in a truck that is bouncing? Why could they not stop the truck for 5 minutes and let him do his job?
Well, I mean, she did ask him, like, hey, can you work with a moving truck? And he's like, yeah, sure, no worries. I can do that or something. Because I was so sure, like, with the bouncing truck and everything, there was a moment there when she had to do some very sharp turns.
Yeah.
And there was a moment there you're going like, oh snap, something's gonna happen to the safe. And I would have liked something to happen to the safe, like something from a very near impossible situation, and
Mhm.
Ludwig just, or Sebastian, of course, takes it from there and really cements his name as the ultimate safe cracker, like that way. But I mean, again, we're not the writers of the story, so
Yeah.
this is what we do. But what I really
Mhm.
liked is when they showed the inner mechanisms of all those safes and all of that. It was just so intoxicatingly beautiful. Like,
Mhm.
I'm like, oh wow, especially the second one where it just changes up stuff. Like, the
Yeah,
more you
it
try,
does.
the moment it just detects your presence, it changes stuff
Mhm.
right there. And its whole relationship with Norse mythology, it was something that I really really liked about it. Like, yeah, this is something I'm looking forward to. Like, give me information, give me the connections that you're making. You're not just like some phony safe cracker. You're somebody
Mhm.
who's involved in it, who's
Yeah.
literally in depth into it. But I sort of agree with your gripe to a certain level as well. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
this should have been the character's own standalone instead of having Dave Bautista come in the last moment and just show that connection to Army of the Dead. So
Especially
that
when he
was
dies in Army of the Dead, right? Batista is the only survivor as far as I remember.
no, no. Batista dies actually. Batista dies in Army of the Dead, and it's the girl who is the survivor. It's his
Oh
daughter,
wow.
basically. So
A movie so
I
bad
I
I don't
remember
even remember what happens.
I remember all Snyder movies, especially the Snyder
Oh,
cut.
my condolences to you.
Well, viewers, we'll just talk about Moby's Snyder cut hatred a little later, probably in some other podcast. Who
We've
knows?
we've lost members to the
We have
Snyder
lost
debate.
members.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't even want to be reminded of that. But yeah, one thing I would really like to commend was the cast, especially when I saw Guz Khan as Rolf. I'm like, oh man, he's there, because I didn't see
I'm
the
like,
cast
good for
before.
him.
I'm like,
Mhm.
oh man, really, you feel for the guy. Like, I've seen his comedy stand-ups and he's really good. And this actor of Ludwig Dieter, or Sebastian, whatever the last name was, because we can't pronounce it, but
Yeah.
that actor really nailed his
Yes.
role. Like,
Yes.
really, really, he portrayed this nervous, um, I wouldn't
Nerd.
say geeky, but nerdy kind of guy who's
Nerdy.
like
He
into
was
this
more
world.
nerd than geek. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, we should have him as a guest on our podcast someday,
Oh, that
probably,
would be
if we can.
nice. But
That would be
his acting,
nice.
especially when it comes to safe cracking, good stuff.
Brilliant.
Like you could believe that he is actually safe cracking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole ritual with putting on music and just like extending his hands and just breathing the air. I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm into it, even though I was just questioning, like, yeah, you're playing music, that's gonna alert pretty much everybody, like, yeah, all of a sudden music is coming from the most secure vault that we have. I don't know. So yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it that we have to discuss about the movie. It's a good weekend watch, definitely, and it's something that you would enjoy a lot. If you haven't seen Army of the Dead, then you'll enjoy it more. And if you
Yes.
see Army of the Dead afterwards, then probably you'll even enjoy Army of the Dead a little bit more than usual, I would say. But yeah, so we can move to our rating, I guess.
Yeah.
Mubarak, what is your rating for this?
Mine is a 7.
Mm-hmm.
Good weekend watch. Has holds, but it could be like the third act could have used some polishing. Apart from that, I'm okay with this movie. I give it a 7.
Yeah, my score would be approximately an 8.5 as well. Like, actually, I would give it an 8 because I'm right there with you on the third act. Like, if the stakes were higher in the second act, they should have been even higher in the third one. Like, this would have been a nail biting
Mm.
finale to the movie.
Yeah.
But it was just like the vault was just like too easy to procure.
It felt too easy. Yeah. Also,
And even cracking it,
yeah,
like there was no challenge per se. Like that was
yeah.
something I was very conscious about. Like, okay, is the
Mm.
moving truck an added challenge? Is the mechanisms going to change, or is there something that's going to happen with the Siegfried? But apparently the
No.
Siegfried was like, yeah, bro, have at it.
Like
But
if
yeah,
this
so
was if this the safe was still at the bank, he'd have done this in like 3 minutes.
3 minutes
Like no
tops.
sweat. Yeah, no sweat. Like just because they put it in the truck and the truck was moving, that's the only challenge he had. Otherwise, there was no real challenge to that.
True,
I would have
true.
given this a higher score if this was not connected to Army of the Dead. Like if this was a
Hmm.
totally independent thing, even if they used the same actor and the same character, that would have not changed. Like that would, if as long as they didn't have to bring in the zombie stuff, I would have given this an 8 immediately. But because of
Hmm.
that and the connections and all that, I'd bring it down to a 7.
I would give it an 8 as well. So
Mhm.
collectively, our rating becomes 7.5, which is a decent score for
Which is a
this. I
decent
mean,
score for a good one-time watch if you like heist movies. That's
yeah. Like if we can summarize our review as a very good standalone character driven movie which the actor really works hard on portraying this character. It's just that by the third act, the climax that you kind of expect, it doesn't come in that shape or form that you kind of want. That the emotional weight is there where you get that,
Mhm.
but the climactic part where you really want that adrenaline rush coming after the second act, that's something that's missing. So probably that's the only reason that the scores are a little less. But yeah, cumulatively is a 7.5. So yeah, do you have anything more to add?
Are we good? I suspect that
Mhm.
now we're gonna have this Snyderverse where he's gonna start taking all the characters from Army of the Dead and start giving them individual movies, just like he did with the Justice League and Batman and Wonder Woman and all these other DC movies.
The next thing we know, it's Army of the Helicopters or Army of the Flyers, based on the woman who was the helicopter pilot, and
Maybe.
subsequently all of them probably. But yeah, it will be fun to watch. I mean, as
And
long
then
as
he's
they're
gonna
done right.
and then he's gonna rub it in WB's face, like, see, I can make a
I can
Snyderverse
make
without
movies.
you.
I can make
Yeah.
movies. You and what army? Get it? You and what army?
Yeah, yep,
Get
yeah,
it?
yeah. Nice, nice,
But
nicely done.
with that horrible pun, we'll end our review. I hope you like the movie. It's a good weekend watch. Watch it with your spouse, family, whoever you would like to. But that's all from us, from our side. So take care. Keep each other safe. Love you all. Bye bye.